Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions, and here with something a little bit different today. This isn't actually a reaction. This is a video from my other channel, apart from this introduction, and it's me reading one of the shortest stories from my collection of short stories, Volume 2. So there is Volume 1 and there is Volume 2, and they are available in book form. I have them here. But they're also available as ebooks, and you can read them for free if you have Kindle Unlimited as an ebook. So I hope you're interested in listening to the story. It's one of the shortest stories that I have, so it's not too long, so you don't have to suffer for long. And hopefully you enjoy it. The stories were written, most of the stories were written in the 1970s and 1980s. They've been sitting in boxes since then. Many of the copies were handwritten, and I finally, a couple years ago, I started, so the last couple of years, took them out, started typing them on computer. Some of them are handwritten, some of them were typed on my old electric typewriter. So I had to tidy them up a little bit. They're pretty much the way I wrote them. Had to make a few little changes, but I tried not to rewrite. There is one new story that I wrote in Volume 1, and I'll let you figure out what it is. Good luck, because there aren't a lot of clues about which ones are old and which ones are new. That's a lot of it's dealing with the psychology of the mind. That's why it's called My Apologies. A troubled mind is a terrible thing to waste. Volume 1 and Volume 2. All right, let's go with the video.
Hello everyone, Ron here from LTL Tutoring Central, and for this story time I'm actually reading one of my own stories from Volume 2 of My Apologies, A Troubled Mind is a Terrible Thing to Waste. These are collections of short stories that I wrote, most of them back in the 1980s. You can purchase the book or you can read it for free on Kindle Unlimited. I will put the links below if you're watching on YouTube. You can sit back and relax and just listen to the story, or you can follow along with the text on the screen. All right, let's get started with Blade of Grass from My Apologies. Blade of Grass. There is no light in the darkness, despair. He cries to himself, for only he understands, and he lies alone, though many nighttime breaths surround him, like betrayals. Their sounds aggravate his sorrow. He reminisces times when light came more easily, so readily, and night, darkness, was a peaceful solitude, filled more with sleep than pain, not to be endured, but a quiet embrace. He recalls a time when glory was just a signature, haircut, and uniform from him. He wishes to return to this ideal and many others, to at least his dreams. These he no longer commands as well. He feels that he no longer commands his destiny or those of others. He humbled himself from becoming a savior long ago, a hero more recently. He rolls onto his arm, his ear turned partially upon it. He welcomes the discomfort, a minute distraction. In the field at times he wishes to hear only one more explosion, dissolution, no sirens. Or he wishes that the heavy mud entrap him, pulling his body to earth's womb. No sirens. He remembers a time when sleep drew him into her arms, a settling to rejuvenation, the milk of dreams revitalizing, that morning wakefulness nigh a rebirth. Now fear grips him as sleep arrives fitfully. Muscles tense as assault dreams, as disjointed as the dismembered bodies of his comrades, operate. Hot tears bring salt to his lips. The mixture reminds him of burning whiskey, the heavy drinking no longer a celebration, but a deepening of the wounds. Still, for a moment, at the peak of inebriation, they would discard their weapons and embrace one another. In the darkness, his thoughts, random though repetitious, his senses tuned more to memory than the present, nulled by the darkness, fear, loneliness. A window often opens, revealing a tunnel-like vision, once a kaleidoscope of entertainment, now a miasma of horror. A soldier walked to his window. In the beginning, as he watched these visions relative to experiences, he talked to God. After a while, he decided no God could swallow this much blood, like consuming his own creation. No creator. He realizes he is wet from his own sweat, though the room feels near freezing, his toes frigid. He reaches a hand to his cold nose, warming it by blowing breath into the cupped palm. The breath returns to his body, unlike Daniel, whose bullet-ridden body did not recoup. He had tried to absorb Daniel's breath. For a while he tried to relive his spirit. However, the expiration not only failed to revive Daniel, but began extinguishing his own tormented spirit. Daniel closes the window. Total darkness. The despair rendered selfless. He listens to the breath surrounding him. There he hears sobs, a rustling of bodies, all churning with individual visions. The cold returns. The mud is as thick. Nightmares will not dissipate, but he is not the only one who understands. He knows he does not lie alone. At last he cries himself to sleep.